So, spring rolls today. Any vegetable you want, any locally sourced farmers market spring rolls are a great way to use up what's in your CSA box. We're going to do a classic spring roll today with a little bit of crab. If you don't like crab, you can use shrimp. If you don't like shrimp, vegetarian is awesome for these. We're going to use a little rice stick, vermicelli. We're going to use a rice paper. We'll talk about the rice paper. But let's start with the veggies because that's the first thing we have to prep. So I got a English cucumber here, and the size of the cut is important because you really want all that flavor. The more surface area you have, the more flavor that comes out of the dish. So you don't just hack it up. You actually do cut it in a nice size that fits well in the wrapper and also brings out the most in the flavor. So we'll start with just a cucumber. We're going to get it just 2 pieces here. Again, zucchini works just as well if you're not a fan of cucumber. I love to work with rectangles because they're so much easier than cutting round shapes. So we're just going to slice it down like that and end up with a nice little cross-sectional piece that we can go put right in our spring rolls. Spring rolls is a great thing to entertain with too. You get a whole bunch of people together, you get the ingredients cut up, and then they can come into your house and do all the rolling and the work, and it's great for a teen party. It's a really versatile dish. All right, so we got our cucumber. Now let's do the same thing with our carrot. This nice thick carrot. Again, you want to work with rectangles. So we'll cut a little bit off the bottom edge, roll it down to where it's flat. Got these nice rectangles to make it easier to cut little julienne strips. Again, it's about the contact area, makes the flavor. It's like thinly sliced meat. The thinly sliced meat you get more flavor out of because there's a little more oxygen on it. Brings out all those great flavors. All right, what else is up here? How about a little of the greens we're going to use. Now in this case, you got lots of freedom. This becomes one of the main components of your spring roll. And so it can be romaine lettuce, it can be iceberg lettuce, it can be the Boston lettuce that's in your crop share. It can be anything that gives that little green and crunch. And what I chose today, because it had the nicest looking bright green popping colors, is this Napa cabbage. And one of the things about cabbage and spring rolls are a natural blend because of the soy and the fish sauce and those other flavors going on. Cabbage is a nice crunch and you get a nice, almost like a slaw-like filling. This will be nice because we get both green and a little bit of curl, and we get this nice rib piece which will give you the crunch. So again, whatever, I'm going to cut the head in half. We'll save half for these folks. And then if you want everything to be about the same size, I'm going to come right down the spine of this. And this will be kind of that main filling for our spring roll. You can totally lay, you know, it was a great question. If you're going to do this with a group, it is nice to put them all out in different piles or in bowls, right? If you don't have bowls, we have white bowls because this is for TV. No. But you want to separate your ingredients in little piles. So if people are going to go down picking and choosing what they want, that they're not all in one big mixed bowl. I mean, because you're going to put all these in a spring roll, I could dump them all in one big bowl and you make your spring roll. But not everybody likes carrot. I can't eat cucumber, so there's this whole trade-off. So you do them, piles would be fine though. Okay, so little pieces of paper towel, just so they're all separate, whatever you would like. But I like keeping them separate just for that reason, so you can pick and choose what's in there. All right, what else we have to cut? Herbs, Thai chilies, onions. In one of our sauces, we need some green onion, thinly cut. Now, green onions, scallions, used in a lot of dishes. Always a big debate. Well, do I use this end or do I use this end? And you know what the answer is? Depends. Depends on what you're doing with it. A lot of dishes call for the greens, tops of green onions, and others talk about the more potent white, lighter green pieces. Almost nothing uses this bottom bright white bit. So it's totally dependent on whether it calls for the tops or the bottom. There is no magic answer. There is no always. It is absolutely dependent on what you're doing. We, however, are using it in a sauce. I'm going to clean up those edges a little bit. And then I want really thin little rings of the greenest part, because I'm going to put it in our Vietnamese nuoc cham, which is a classic Vietnamese dipping sauce. So I'm going to go down to about right there. Then what you do is you save these pieces for your next soup, your next stew, your omelet. Cut them up, saute them. They're really great. They're just not often used as such because they're pretty potent. They also get stronger very quickly. Their flavor increases as they soak in a sauce. Okay, so we got.
So that's a stronger onion flavor than the greens are, or not?
Yes, they just get more concentrated, and some of it has to do with the layers. I mean, you got more layers down there, yeah. So the flavor is more concentrated. But the green onion as a whole is stronger than the big mild white onion. It's more. Especially on the white part, yeah. And it will only get stronger. Like I said, if you put a green onion herb mayonnaise, you better eat it when you stir it up, because a day later, it's onion suspended in something. That's all you taste, is the onion.
Onion smush that you can spread on.
Exactly. So we're going to use this in our nuoc cham. Now, the herbs that go in a spring roll, the two that you can use any herb that you like. You can use any fresh herb that you have in your garden. The two flavors that I really like together are cilantro and mint. Mint's the unexpected one. Often you go and you get a spring roll somewhere, you'll get the mint in it because it's that bright spring, summer pop flavor. We're going to sprinkle these herbs in the spring roll together. I'm going to chop them at the same time. Just going to get the cilantro off the. And most of your cilantro stem, when the cilantro is nice and fresh, about 3/4 of it is usable, half. It's still tender enough. You can save these for flavoring maybe a little pozole or a little Mexican soup. You can use this bottom part of the stem. You don't have to throw it away. There's lots of ways to keep using this. Can't do stock with it though. It drives the stock a particular flavor. Now if you're close enough when you're cutting this, man, you can just, let's just spring garden